I could say that, when I heard Jesse's name as a possible candidate, it was hard for me to envision Jesse like he is, because my experience was with Jesse primarily in the draft years ago when he was doing all the bottom guys on the draft board in the secondary, and I just didn't really ever think of him like that. But I know, and that's me being honest, I'm just, but watching him last year, we played these guys last year, and watching that defense, I'm like, damn, this is a good team. This is a really good defense. And Jesse's doing a hell of a job. And then I think for me, as I started talking to people like Joe Ortiz or Tony Jefferson or Eric Weddle or other people that I talked to, even before I met on the Zoom with Jesse, my opinion started to change, just like it would with a player in the draft who maybe you see him playing against a bad team and he doesn't play that great or whatever it is, but then you watch him against better competition, he plays better and better and better and better, and you're like, this guy's really, really good. I think it takes a whole process of accumulating information and really kind of removing all the biases that you have in your head.
So that was Eric Decosta around 11:30 this morning, talking about some parts of the process of hiring Jesse Minter. Jesse Minter introduced to the media earlier today in front of a full house at the auditorium in One Wing Drive, about a half-hour press conference. We didn't get a whole lot of information about the staff. Minter, for his part, said he's close on an offensive and defensive coordinator, but didn't want to say anything more than that. We did see reports that Randy Brown is officially back, which we figured that was that was going to happen. So that's what we know so far, Jason.
Yeah, I mean, look, I told you, this guy, I believe, is ready to be an NFL head coach with the right infrastructure, with the right checks and balances, in the right spot. And he's impressive, and I think he's pretty real. And he's a bit of an open book right now, which is sort of interesting because he hasn't learned to play the game yet, really.
He's not used to this.
Right. So, he's great. I think the Ravens made the most impeccable, perfect defensive coordinator hire they could have possibly made. And we'll find out if he's a head coach, and we'll find out if he's a head coach with the infrastructure or lack thereof that's required. We'll find out how important they think having experienced former head coaches on staff are. We'll find out about the level of acumen, both as a play caller, as a proven play caller, as a leader of men, and as a agent of chaos or agent of plasticity. Their OC is, because it could go a bunch of different ways.
Sure.
So we'll find out about that. But for me, honestly, you could distill all of it down to about 17 minutes in at 11:47. He sort of asked about personnel a little bit and his relationship with Eric Decosta. We see football the same way. We see building a team the same. That's what it
partnership.
But we see building a team.
They have the same vision.
The same. That was all. I told you before Harbs was fired. That's the answer to the question. That's the answer to the quintessential question. And not everybody would give that answer. And not everybody would give that answer honestly. And the people who wouldn't were excluded categorically. So they didn't want to be challenged. They didn't want outside the circle. They really didn't want someone to say, well, no, you got to pay for pass rushers. No, we can't just load up on corners and safeties and some who are over the hill and some you're too loyal to because, you've got a personal relationship with them. And some are really a little bit small and have some physical deficiencies. And so just because you took them in the first round doesn't mean they're going to perform like a first round. They didn't want to hear any of that. This is what it was all about. For me, the entire process that I called months before it began. We see football the same. We see building a team the same. And so now we're going to find out if, a lot of people would say, now was the time to be challenged. Now was the time to be shaken up. Now was the time to realize the depths of your mistakes that went beyond Harbs being a mook who holds us back every Sunday. We're going to find out. But that to me was the quintessential takeaway And that's why it was always going to go where it went.
Well, what did you make of Eric Decosta's response about the chain of command staying the same?
I think it's a non-answer. I think.
No, he said he's going to report directly to Steve.
I thought it was pretty
Talked
direct.
around. I don't care what he says. I know the process. He also tried to claim John Harbaugh, which is the biggest crap of malarkey I've ever heard in my life. And tried to act like he was involved in Harbaugh, tried to claim Harbaugh like he's done this before. In 2008, he's a college scouting director. In 2009, he's just promoted to pro personnel. Stop. That should be a categorical disclaimer. He's trying to wrap his arms around Harbaugh and say how great Harbaugh's yet to utter the guy's name. Yet to utter his name publicly since this went down. The owner, when he thanked everybody involved, DeCosta, in the process, guess what name never came up? And maybe it was a Freudian slip, but it never came up because he wasn't involved.
Who, Steve?
Yes.
Steve was in the front row. He was
No.
there.
When Eric started thanking people who were involved in the nuts and bolts of the process and talked about the players that were involved, he never mentioned Steve because it really wasn't Steve's hire. He outsourced it. So what's the chain of command? No, Eric and Sasha are in charge. Steve told you I'm checked out. Steve told you I'm not really around. Steve has delegated to these two, and they were always going to hire Jesse Minter, who was always going to say at the introductory press conference, we see football the same. We see building a team the same way. So, yeah, who does he report to? He reports to Sashi Brown because Steve's not around. He told you he's not around.
Get him by phone, Jason.
Yeah, right. Sure. Eric Decosta, we talked about it before, whatever. They can say whatever they want. We talked about it through the process. It's Eric's building. It's Sashi's building. This is their hire. This falls on them. The owner wasn't even involved in 80% of the interviews. This is on them. He just told you, I'm not here to rock the boat. DeCosta's going to get whatever he wants. We see building a team the same. No. He's under Eric DeCosta's thumb. They were always going to hire someone who's never been a head coach before. But I've been in my chair forever. And I got the audacity to sit here and tell you that I played a role in John Harbaugh. I helped find John Harbaugh. He's trying to claim a guy who on the way out won't say his name publicly. That's all you need to know about Eric DeCosta.
Whether he was very implicit in that response.
That's great.
Now, whether he's lying or not.
It doesn't matter what he said.
He said the right thing, is what I'm saying. He respected Ozzie working with Mark Broda, Billick, and Harbaugh, and they won Super Bowls that way, and he said that they're going to continue that way.
Did Ozzie Newsome run head coaching searches without an owner involved?
No.
There you go. That's all I need to know. That's all I need to know. His front office is in more disarray than any personnel department in the history of this franchise, and he's got more power than Ozzie Newsome ever had. He's got more power than John Harbaugh ever had, because that actually wasn't a power imbalance. This was set up to be a power imbalance in which, at the introductory press conference, I'll say it again, when we get down to personnel, we see football the same. We see building a team the same way. That's the Eric Decosta way. It's Eric DeCosta's coach. This is on Eric. This is on Sashi. The billionaire's on his boat. He's checked out. I'll show up at home games. Go win me some football games.
Is it fair that some people might see that as a positive that they share the same vision?
If you think they're headed down the right road personnel-wise, and you have actually studied this, and that's what you think, then you're entitled to your opinion.
Just asking a hypothetical.
What do you think? Let's take the hypothetical out of it.
I think I'm impressed with Jesse Minter.
I'm impressed with Jesse Minter.
And I honestly...
Do you think they're headed in the right direction personnel?
I think that I think that if Lamar Jackson's upright, they're a playoff team.
That's not what I asked you.
I think the reality...
I think they had a horrible year. The previous few years, they made
Has
the
the
playoffs.
drafting been going in a positive direction?
Well, the reality is we're going to know come camp. We're going to... Because this offseason is that pivotal.
You can't change your tune now that they hired the guy and he didn't pee on his leg at a press conference. I got you all on the record. Yeah. It's not me saying it. I can go to Ben and we can pull it all back.
No,
because this guy now, because I told you, this guy is ready.
I still said it.
But
this is his hire. So, yes.
You hated the drafts. You hated the free agent signings.
It was a
you
horrible
hated
year.
the complete at a time when he would tell you want to talk about what people say, nobody appreciates pass rush more than me. He does nothing to actually get it. Like all the loading up on defensive backs, the Ajabos, drafting hurt guys, all that. It's all been chronicled. If you think it's headed in the right direction and you wanted a coach to rubber stamp all that, you got your wish.
I've said that he needs to
But
change
you
his
wanted
philosophy.
Stefanski and you wanted Saleh, and they were categorically excluded.
By the way, Salah's got a bunch of kids. Do you see that?
He's also still flying on the Houston Oilers plane.
That was funny.
Did you see that?
I saw that too. Massive Thursday show. Salah's got 7 kids. They all look like they're under the age of 15. So good work on him and his wife. Brian Baldinger joins us every Thursday. Odyssey NFL Insider. We'll talk Ravens and playoffs with Baldy at 3 o'clock. Lucy Burge from DraftKings. Best Bets and Nonsense at 4 o'clock. Evan Washburn. He was on the sideline for the AFC Championship game. Got a bunch of snow in his hair. We'll talk football with Evan at 4:30. He's also part of Ravens production, so we'll get his thoughts on what has gone down the last couple of weeks. And Big Ben McDonald, as we are now 12 days away from pitchers and catchers reporting. What's he think of the Orioles offseason thus far? We'll ask him coming up at 5:30.
Ravens Productions had no trouble getting a seat at the table asking questions today. I know that much.
They got a few.
Ravens Productions, they were not going to be cheated. We're getting 28 minutes with the new guy, and Ravens Productions not. Even though he's going to do their podcast and he's going to do the one-off
He did it
here,
already,
and they're going to have all this exclusivity to him. We're going to make sure that we box out plenty in the introductory press conference and make sure we get plenty of questions from Ravens Production. I just point out facts. That's what I do.
And he went on McAfee.
Yeah, he did.